There is probably no one more controversial in all of India today than Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. To millions of devotees, he is an avatar exhibiting the powers of omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence. To others, he is considered a magician whose very name provokes controversy. Who is this spiritual leader who possesses supernatural powers difficult, if not impossible, to fit into any rational scientific system of belief? To approach him, one must try to understand India, timeless, eternal, known as Bharat, the land of the Lord. In Sanskrit, Baha means the Lord, Rati means attachment. The people of India are attached to and love God.
India is a land where worship is an integral part of everyday life. Shiva temples, Krishna temples, Ganesha temples, temples dedicated to all the aspects and manifestations of the divine are to be found all over India. The religions of the world coexist here, side by side.
To a Hindu, the phenomenal world is but an illusion, Maya. Behind all manifestations is the one reality God, who is recognized as the indweller in all forms. All life is sacred to a Hindu. Reincarnation is accepted as the continuity of life and is a basic part of the religions of India, as is the guru-disciple relationship.
The basic texts of Indian spirituality, the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, and the Upanishads, sing the praises of the guru-disciple relationship. A guru is one who reveals truth through wisdom derived from direct experience.
Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba is renowned throughout India as the Guru of Gurus, demonstrating all the qualities of an avatar. Baba said he behaves in a human way so that mankind can feel kinship, but rises into his superhuman heights so that mankind can aspire to reach the heights. Realizing the Lord within you as the motivator is the task for which the avatar comes in human form. My acts are foundations on which I am building my work, the task for which I have come. All the miraculous acts which you observe are to be interpreted so. This form bears the name Satya, truth. I can lead you onto the truth from which you have strayed. I have come to re-establish the rhythm of righteousness in the world.
దివ్యాత్మ స్వరూపులారా త్రిగుణమిళితమైనటువంటి ఈ ప్రకృతి యందు
for the protection of the virtues, for the destruction of evildoers, and for establishing righteousness on a firm footing, I incarnate from age to age. Whenever ashanti or disharmony overwhelms the world, the Lord will incarnate in human form to establish the modes of earning peace. I do not mention about Sai Baba in any of my discourses, though I bear the name as Avatar of Sai Baba. I do not appreciate in the least the distinction between the various appearances of God. Continue your worship of your chosen God along the lines already familiar to you. There is no need to change your chosen God and adopt a new one when you have seen me and heard me.
There is only one God, is omnipresent.
There is only one God and He is omnipresent.
There is only one religion, the religion of love. There is only one caste, the caste of humanity. There is only one language, the language of the heart.
Satya Narayana Raju, known as Satya Sai Baba, was born in the village of Putterparthi, South India, at sunrise on November 23, 1926, to a pious middle-class family. Sai Baba has said that he knew even prior to his birth where he would be born. He has also said that he was born with all the miraculous powers which he is now manifesting out of his will.
The child became the pet of the entire village. His charming smile attracted all. He was called by the neighbors a Brahmajani, a realized soul, because of the love he showed towards all creatures and his insistence on a vegetarian diet. He never seemed to suffer pain and was known to tell the truth always. The children of the village called him Guru during the time he attended a one-room primary school. He was noted for composing devotional songs at the tender age of 7. At the age of 10, Satya formed a bhajan group of 18 boys to sing songs of love and devotion to God. The group became famous in the area and was invited to many villages to perform. Often the boys put on morality plays written by Satya for the entertainment and education of the villagers. He was sought after by the people who had lost articles of value because he was known for his intuitive perception which revealed to him their whereabouts.
On March 8, 1940, the entire village was shocked to hear that a scorpion had stung his right toe. He fell as though unconscious and became stiff. Satya's parents feared for his life, for in India few ever survived the poison of a scorpion's sting. 2 days later, Satya revived. His personality seemed to be completely transformed. Sai Baba said that he himself had initiated the entire process, for he could not wait any longer playing about as a child. On the 23rd of May, 1940, 14-year-old Satya Narayana announced to his parents, family, and close friends that he was Shirdi Sai Baba reincarnated. Shirdi Sai Baba was a renowned saint with genuine miraculous powers who died in 1918. Upon his passing, he told his devotees that he would reincarnate in 8 years. 8 years later, in 1926, Satya Narayana was born. Sai Baba told his family, "I have come to ward off all your troubles. Keep your houses clean and pure. I am no longer yours. I am leaving. I have full work ahead."
Sai Baba's devotees grew steadily in number. In 1950, an ashram was completed near the village. It was called Prasanthi Nilayam, the abode of the highest peace.
The old ashram is being enlarged to accommodate the ever-increasing numbers of seekers who come to him for help. Sai Baba has announced that the expanded ashram will be utilized as a school for sadhana, a place to teach spiritual discipline. People from all walks of life, from all over the world, are finding their way to Prasanthi Nilayam. Sai Baba daily walks among those who gather outside the prayer hall to receive his darshan, spiritual blessing. He takes their letters asking for help, stopping to give a word of encouragement or to direct the lucky ones to his quarters for the sought-after personal interview, where he instructs and guides them. Sai Baba says, when a sick person comes to me, I give him something. I create vibhuthi ash or some other article. He becomes conscious of divine power. He acquires mental peace. That cures, that comforts, that consummates his wish. Baba, with a gentle wave of his hand, produces the sacred ash known as the truth of matter and gives it as a special grace. Thousands of people have witnessed the miracle of vibhuthi, the inexplicable, ultra-scientific wonder which is placed on the tongue or mixed with water and taken as a specific against illness. The vibhuthi, produced out of the ether by Baba's will, is a constant reminder of the impermanence of the body, which is ultimately reduced to a handful of ash. Scientific genius and research have unlocked the enormous power inherent in the atom. We have witnessed the dawn of the atomic era, the beginning of the space age. Now, many new research programs are underway to explore the outer limits of human consciousness. ESP, psychic healing, Carolyn photography, telekinesis, and other startling phenomenon are being studied. Can science shed light on Satya Sai Baba's power to materialize physical objects at will? By a wave of his hand, Sai Baba materializes a pair of rings for the housewarming ceremony of Joel and Diana Reardon behind Swami's residence at Brindavan. Baba says this about these manifestations. As the intention of the will arises in the mind, the thing is made. It is ready when I want it. The moment it is willed, the thing comes to hand or happens where I will it to happen.
People come to Sai Baba with illnesses of infinite variety, each one asking for his help. Knowing the past, present, and future of each one, Baba is able to help and heal them as their karma allows.
He manifests special vibhuthi ash which he directs them to place on their tongue. Is science able to explain with its logic this manifestation of power which in a religious context would be called miraculous?
At Brindavan, home of the Satya Sai Baba Arts and Science College for Boys, Dr. S. Bhagavantam, former scientific advisor to the government of India, speaks about Sai Baba.
As a scientist, are you skeptical at all regarding Satya Sai Baba's so-called divine powers?
Oh, you can talk of skepticism only when you have in mind the miracles that he performs. Surely, when one talks of divinity at a higher level, at least in this country, the miracles do not constitute the primary aspect of that, although they have their own value. But Swami's divinity is evident in so many other ways. If you spend some time with him and talk to him, the way he expounds the most abstruse parts of Indian philosophy, the way he expounds scriptures, the texts which even learned people find it very difficult to expound. Mind you, Swami had never been even in a school and never had a chance to study these things in the ordinary orthodox way. Where does he get all the strength and knowledge and power? And how does he get all the energy which he shows, much more than anyone else? How does he do all this? This is simply being, if not divine, at least superhuman. But when you spoke of skepticism, I think you had in mind only the miracles and so on which he often shows. These miracles are only to attract people, but once you go into his orbit, you clearly, repeatedly see his divinity. There is no doubt whatsoever on that.
Every morning and afternoon, Sai Baba walks among the waiting ones, eager to have his darshan, sight and presence of a holy man. It is said that this is the first time an avatar has walked so freely among all men. Sai Baba preaches no new message, but echoes the teachings of Vedanta. His message is also basic to Buddhism, Christianity, and Islam. There is only one religion in the world, the religion of love, he often declares. And like Jesus in his greatest commandment, Sai Baba also stresses the necessity for demonstrating this love through active service to one's fellow man. Religion which does not manifest itself in acts of love, generosity, self-sacrifice, and compassion is no religion, says Baba. His own life illustrates his teaching. It is a continuous outpouring of devoted service in which personal convenience, comfort, privacy, leisure, and sensuous pleasure play no part. It is impossible to understand or explain the meaning and significance of Sai Baba. There can be no possible means of approach to this manifestation from the stage which we can attain. This is an incarnation which is beyond anyone's comprehension. Trying to explain Baba is as futile as the attempt of a person who does not know the alphabet to read a scholarly book. At best, we can only prepare to receive and benefit by the peace he confers and the bliss he grants. Prasanthi Nilayam is attracting visitors from all parts of India and from most foreign lands eager to have Sai Baba's darshan. Tens of thousands of devotees gather for the Shivaratri festival when Sai Baba performs the vibhuthi abhishekam. In his discourse, Baba tells the audience that you have come to get from me tinsel, pedicures and promotions, worldly joys and comforts. Very few of you desire to get from me the thing I have come to give you, namely liberation itself. Your worldly intelligence cannot fathom the ways of God. He cannot be recognized by mere cleverness of your intelligence. You may benefit from God, but you cannot explain Him. After the morning ceremony, crowds gathered in the auditorium. Baba spoke on the significance of the vibhuthi abhishekam. The silver statue of Shirdi Sai Baba, Satya Sai Baba's previous incarnation, was bathed and wiped dry. A jewel was produced by Baba by the wave of his hand and placed on the idol's forehead. A wooden vessel in the shape of a flower vase was held upside down overhead. Baba started churning the same with his hand inserted into it, throwing out large quantities of vibhuthi, pouring from nowhere as it were, and covering the idol with exquisite fragrance. When Baba took out his hand from the upturned vase for a short while, the vibhuthi stopped flowing down as though to convince the doubting ones that the otherwise empty vessel needed the divine hand for it to produce the vibhuthi. The flow that seemed capable of being an unending one starts all over again as soon as Baba puts his hand into the vase. It is on such occasions that logic fails us. We begin to wonder more when the flow stops than when it resumes. Baba says that vibhuthi is the most precious article in the truly spiritual sense. Ash is the ultimate condition of things. It cannot undergo any further change. Near Mysore, at Sri Rangapatnam, there is a small temple devoted to Satya Sai Baba. The temple was built by Haligappa, who had been a thief. After his first visit to Sai Baba at Prasanthi Nilayam, Haligappa bought 2 tiny enamel pictures of Satya Sai Baba and Sai Baba of Shirdi. By the time he returned to Sri Rangapatnam, both pictures had begun to produce amritha, an ambrosia known as the nectar of the gods. What you are seeing is the spontaneous manifestation of this amritha from the enamel pictures. Haligappa now keeps them in a quart jar which daily fills up with the sweet nectar. He gives the amritha freely to all who visit the temple. Haligappa leads the bhajans, devotional songs in the temple. On the altar, pictures of Sai Baba daily produce vibhuthi, which is also given away to the visitors. This phenomenon of vibhuthi forming on Baba's pictures is happening in homes of devotees all over the world, demonstrating his power to transcend time and space. In this and other ways, Baba makes his presence felt whenever and wherever he wishes. On Guru Purnima Day, Sai Baba visits the nearby village of Kadagodi, where devotees have gathered from all over India to pay homage to their Guru.
Om
Each summer, Sai Baba invites more than 500 college students from all over India and the West to an intensive one-month course in spirituality and Indian culture. All the teachers and students are the guests of the Satya Sai Education Foundation. The Foundation's immediate task is to raise the level of spirituality throughout India by educating her children. Baba is establishing schools throughout the country which offer spiritual guidance along with training in traditional academic subjects. Students must be taught the great lessons of India's ancient culture, says Baba. He wants the youth of India to understand and appreciate the religious customs of other countries and free themselves of all feelings of separateness and difference. On this graduation day ceremony, Professor V.K. Gokak, former Vice Chancellor, Bangalore University, head of Sai Baba's educational system, speaks about Sai Baba.
Bhagavan himself has said that the first 16 years of his life were spent in Bala Leela, playing divine pranks as a child. The next 16 years were years of what he has called Mahimas, that is to say miracles, astonishing things happening which would take people's breath away. 16 years introduced him to the world in that capacity. Then from his 32nd to his 48th year, the third set of 16 years, these have been years of what he has called Upadesh, delivering these discourses, speaking to people about the riddle of life, offering his own explanation for this enigma of life, and doing this for millions of people all over this country and abroad. So that is how the third set of 16 years has been used and is going to be used. He has himself said that he is going to be there for 95 years in this particular incarnation. And the next one is going to be that of Prem Sai Baba. That will be in a village, in a district called the Mandya district in the Kannada country. There he is going to be born and he is going to be called Prema Sai Baba.
Narayana Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Narayana Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Sai Narayana.
Sai Baba pays special attention to the children who visit him. Here, he gives blessed food to each child. Baba teaches them about the brotherhood of men and the fatherhood of God. This instills in the children a respect for all religions.
One evening, Sai Baba took some devotees and a group of students from the college to a nearby dry riverbed. There he gave a discourse on the nature of creation and brought forth from the sand a silver statue of the goddess of Chamundi.
This causes wonder to you, but to me, they are just my nature.
It's a drawing.
Through such manifestations, it is possible to pass on and to give the feelings of divinity and develop faith in divinity.
This lion eyes.
What is the deepest spiritual significance of these manifestations?
The answer is God's power exceeds time and place and is not subject to time and place.
Swami Kriyananda, a direct disciple of Paramahansa Yogananda and founder of Ananda Community Ashram, has this to say about his visit to Sai Baba.
Many people have asked me to give my impressions of Satya Sai Baba. On the subject of Sai Baba, India seems fairly evenly divided. Some say his miracles are a purely divine work. Others claim they are ego-motivated. But he does many things besides materialize objects, and some of his miracles, at least, would not be possible if they were rooted in ego. He has changed countless lives for the better. He has saved innumerable people from tragedy, oftentimes when they prayed to him mentally from a distance of hundreds of miles. Baba's teachings are all of divine love, service, humility, and surrender to God's will. With every materialization to which I was a witness, I could observe no desire on Baba's part to impress others. My impression rather was that his entire thought was centered on giving to them and not on receiving anything in return. In fact, I'm told he won't accept anything even if it's offered to him. Close disciples of his have told me Baba considers his materializations quite insignificant, almost as if to say, look how easily material objects can be brought into manifestation. Why consider it worth your while to run after them? He stresses renunciation and non-attachment. My meeting with Sri Sathya Sai Baba was a great inspiration to me.
Sai Baba has said, "My life is my message. I eat as you do, move about as you do, talk in your language, and behave so you can recognize and understand, for your sake, not for my sake. I turn you towards the divine, winning your confidence, your love, by being among you as one of yourselves whom you can see, listen to, touch, and treat with reverence and devotion. My plan is to transmute you into seekers of truth." Sai Baba teaches that to acquire the awareness of the divine, one must join the company of the holy and strive on the spiritual path, singing God's name, and by practicing proper meditation, realize the Supreme Self. Without meditation, it is not possible to control and master the mind, to immerse the mind in supreme consciousness, which is in everyone in the form of love. Surrender to God means to leave everything to His will, and is the highest form of divine love. Sai Baba says, "I am present everywhere at all times. I am aware of the past, present, and future of your innermost thoughts and carefully guarded secrets. I do not manifest my powers in any capricious manner or merely for display, for I am an example and an inspiration. Whatever I do or omit to do, my life is a commentary on my message."